Good evening, everyone. I'm the storyteller, and I'm here to help you fall asleep, or maybe keep you awake, with a terrifying horror story which will make you understand that not everyone who smiles with you really mean well for you. Before we start, make sure you subscribe to the channel and like the video. I'd love to know where you're from and what time you're watching this. Thank you. I just moved to a new city, and I didn't know a single soul. I was desperate to find a place to live, and the idea of renting an apartment alone was out of the question. That's when I stumbled upon a post online, "Roommate wanted in an affordable apartment, great location." It seemed like a dream come true. The place belonged to a guy named Adrian. He seemed nice enough over text, brief but polite. When I showed up to check out the apartment, I was pleasantly surprised. It was a small but clean two-bedroom place in a decent neighborhood. Adrian was tall and lanky, with sharp features and dark, unkempt hair. Something about him felt off, but I brushed it aside. I was tired of searching, and this was the best deal I could get. "You'll love it here," Adrian said, smiling just a little too wide. "I keep to myself mostly. You won't even know I'm here." I should have known then that something wasn't right. For the first few days, everything was fine. Adrian wasn't lying when he said he kept to himself. I barely saw him. I worked late shifts, and by the time I got home, his bedroom door was always shut. Sometimes I'd hear muffled noises coming from his room in the middle of the night, soft whispers, the creaking of floorboards. But I figured he was just up late, maybe on the phone or watching something. One night I woke up suddenly, feeling a presence in my room. My heart pounded as I reached for my phone and turned on the flashlight. Nothing. The door was still closed, the room silent except for my own breathing. Maybe it was just a bad dream, I told myself. But then the next morning, I noticed something strange. My closet door was slightly open. I never left it open. I brushed it off. Maybe I forgot to close it the night before. Maybe it was just my imagination. But things only got weirder from there. A few nights later, I woke up again. This time, I heard it clearly, a soft creak, like someone stepping on the wooden floor just outside my bedroom door. I held my breath, straining to listen. The apartment was silent. Then, a whisper, low, almost imperceptible. I sat up slowly, rubbing my eyes. Maybe Adrian was just getting a glass of water. "Adrian?" I called out, my voice groggy. No response. I sighed and grabbed my phone, turning on the flashlight. I scanned the room, landing on the closet door, open wider than before. I frowned. Had I forgotten to close it again? Shaking my head, I stood up, walked over, and pulled it shut. "I need to stop scaring myself," I muttered, climbing back into bed. Just as I was about to drift off, I heard something else. A soft click, like a door gently latching. But this time, I was too tired to care. Maybe it was nothing. The next morning, I decided to mention it to Adrian over breakfast. He was sitting at the small kitchen table, stirring his coffee absent-mindedly. "Hey, do you ever hear strange noises at night?" I asked, trying to keep my tone casual. He paused for a moment before shaking his head. "Nope, I sleep pretty deeply." I nodded, unsure how to respond. Maybe I really was overthinking things. As I poured my own coffee, Adrian spoke again. "Did something happen?" "Not really," I said, shrugging. "Just thought I heard footsteps outside my door." He let out a short chuckle. "Maybe it's the building settling. Old apartments make weird noises." I forced a smile and nodded. Maybe he was right. I needed to stop letting my imagination run wild. For the next few nights, I tried to ignore the sounds, the soft creaks, the occasional whisper-like noise. I told myself it was just the usual sounds of an old building. Then one night, as I lay in bed, I heard something different. Not a creak, not a whisper, a soft, rhythmic tapping from inside my closet. I sat up immediately, my pulse quickening. The sound was faint but unmistakable. Tap, 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 like someone gently knocking. I stared at the closet, frozen in place. I had closed it. I was sure of it. Holding my breath, I reached for my phone and turned on the flashlight. The small beam of light illuminated the door. I swallowed hard and forced myself to stand. With slow, careful steps, I walked toward the closet. My hand trembled as I reached for the knob. I took a deep breath and pulled the door open. Nothing. Just my clothes, hanging neatly. The shelves, untouched. I let out a shaky laugh. "Get a grip," I muttered, shutting the door once again. But as I turned back toward my bed, I noticed something I hadn't before. A single footprint, right in front of the closet. And it wasn't mine. That was it. I couldn't ignore it anymore. The next morning, I confronted Adrian directly. "Listen, something is going on in this apartment. I keep hearing noises, and last night I found a footprint by my closet. A footprint that wasn't mine." He stared at me for a long moment before sighing. "I was hoping you wouldn't notice." My stomach dropped. "Notice what?" He hesitated, then finally said, "The last tenant. He never really left." I felt a chill run down my spine. "What do you mean?" Adrian stood up and walked over to the hallway closet. He pressed a hand against the back panel, and to my horror, it creaked open, revealing a hidden passageway leading to a dark, narrow space. "He was obsessed with staying here," Adrian continued. "I thought he was gone, but..." He shook his head. "Maybe he never really left after all. I didn't stay to find out." That night, I packed my bags and left. I didn't care about losing my deposit. I didn't care about finding another place last minute. All I knew was that I wasn't spending another night in that apartment. And as I walked away, I couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching me. From the closet.